Hello everyone and welcome to a special news and notes video for the Fed League Flash. This is Saturday the 8th. This is in the middle of the afternoon. A couple of things that I wanted to touch on before we got to our regularly scheduled news and notes because the timing would just kind of be off. And these are things that have come up over the last couple of days that I wanted to talk about. So I want to focus on two items specifically. First, the Indiana Sentinels. We can call this the wrapping up of the crisis chapter of the Indiana Sentinel story. Of course, a couple weeks ago we talked about the real big issues and the problems that were going on. Was there a problem? Yes. But thankfully, things have been addressed. They are being dealt with. There is progress. There's a lot of progress. As catastrophic as the story was just a couple weeks ago, it's almost a meteoric rise over the last couple of weeks with the status of the franchise, and I'm very happy to say that. Of course, I did have the opportunity on Friday to meet with several members of not just the team, but the front office, people in hockey operations. So I've been able to talk firsthand with several people in the Indiana Sentinels organization. Again, as bad as things seemed to be a couple weeks ago, things are improved immeasurably since, and that is very encouraging. Are there a lot of challenges ahead? Yes, but I think I feel pretty confident that these challenges are being met. It seems that there was a lot of confusion as far as who was running the show, who was calling the shots before. And it seems like everybody now is on the same page. I never got that feeling prior to the past 2 weeks. I really feel like everyone is communicating with each other, that there is a definite plan and purpose that has been put into place and put into motion. And so I just want to talk about it. First of all, if you haven't noticed, the team on the ice is getting better. Yes, they have yet to win a game. But if you look at this past Friday's game and the 2 games before in Topeka, compare that to their first 6 games, world of difference. And I won't say it's 100% because of Everett Thompson coming on board, but I think that is a huge reason for it. Thompson has come in and implemented a structure with practices. He's got the team really focusing on basic, simple drills, just going over those things over and over and over again, so that in time, okay, you got this system down, you got this system down, you got this system down, you put it all together, suddenly you've got a competitive product on the ice. And in spite of coming up short the last 3 games, they've been competitive. They weren't competitive at all in the first 6 games. So this is really, really good to see. A lot of progress. There's going to be a lot more changes coming in as Everett Thompson brings in other people, other players that want to come in and build something from the ground floor up. And that's the way you got to look at it. And so, you got to start at the bottom and work your way up. And I really feel like this is now taking place, that there is a climb going on with the product on the ice, first of all, but also with the product off the ice. The front office, they kind of got off to a late start because they thought one person was going to be kind of heading everything up, and things went a little sideways, a little wonky, and so now they have picked up the pieces and have said, what do we need to do? Let's formulate our game plan from this moment on going forward. And they have done a great job of doing that. They are uh, establishing better ties with the community. There's a lot more interaction. Um, every team's goal on this level of minor league hockey, their goal has to be community focused. And I think the vision was there, but I don't think it was put into practice before the last few weeks. I really feel like now that there is a bond being formed with the community, sponsorships are now being sold. So the next time that you see an Indiana Sentinels game at the Hamilton Ice Center, um, you'll see some ads on the dashers. That's very important method for raising income and raising capital for the team. There are a lot of sponsorships that have already been agreed to over the last couple of weeks. There are many more coming down the road. There is also progress, from what I understand, as far as the proposed arena, which is not at the same site. It's not going to be the same location that they're playing now, but there is a plan in place, a plot of land set aside for building a 2,500 seat arena, which is going to be a lot better than a 1,000 seat arena. Indiana's done what they could with what they have, and I give them credit for that. But long term, you're not going to make it in a 1,000 seat arena, and Indiana knows this. The league knows this, but there are things being set in motion now. The Booster Club is forming. They've got to become official, but that process is underway as well. So all the donations that many of you sent to the Sentinels, thank you so much. That really helps kind of carry things over until the Booster Club is official. That should happen by Thanksgiving, from what I understand. Booster Club should be official, and that'll be great. So good things are happening in Indiana. I believe that the wins will come. It may take a few weeks, but I think the wins will come. I think that the ties with the community and with the local business, Chamber of Commerce and all, I think that is definitely improving. So, yeah, I think I can safely say Indiana is out of crisis mode. And again, that is very good news for a league that is looking for some stability right now. Well, speaking of which, let's transfer to our second thing, and that is the announcement that's going to be coming this coming Wednesday, 1 p.m. Central Time, the announcement of a new franchise, new Fed franchise in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. Yeah, it's out there. Just a brief little bit about where it is. It's about 2.5 hours south of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Yep, where the Winnipeg Jets play. And it's about 110 miles to the northeast of Fargo, North Dakota. Now, Fargo does have a USHL Tier 1 junior team. So hopefully, maybe some people make the 110-mile drive. It's roughly 2 hours to Thief River Falls, catch some pro games. The population, yeah, it's small. It's kind of a remote outpost. Thief River Falls is the county seat of Pennington County. Population of Thief River Falls is approximately 8,800. The population of the county is about 13,600. Now, the big thing here, though, and this is something that I'm sure this is the reason why the Fed pursued this location. Average median income of families in that area, $65,000. That is by far tops in the FPHL. There is no other city that comes close to that level for median income. So that means people have money. And if you look at a map of Minnesota and you see how remote it is up there, there's not a whole lot to do up there. So this is going to be the big show. This is what the Fed is banking on. All right. The arena, it's called Ralph Engelstad Arena. It seats about 2,800 people. So for comparison, that's about the same as McMorran Place in Port Huron. A little bit more than Danbury. It's a little bit less than Blue Ridge. So it's kind of it's on the bottom half, but it's closer to the middle as far as arenas and their capacity. Now, the caveat, the distance, the travel distance. A good quality bus is going to be of utmost importance because this team will spend a lot of time on it. It's 10 and a half hours to Topeka, 14 to Indiana. Port Huron, it's about 15 and a quarter if you go through the Upper Peninsula and down, or about 16 if you go down to Chicago and across. Motor City is about 16 hours. And because Motor City, we're counting on them being back in next year. And then Monroe, the fifth closest city, 19 hours. That's a long time on the bus. Now, I won't go into a huge amount of detail as far as CDL regulations, commercial motor vehicle regulations, but Thief River Falls is going to make sure, they're going to have to make sure that they have 2 bus drivers because they're going to have to drive in tandem. So the only trip that they can make according to guidelines and regulations is Topeka. So the money is there. That's the reason why the league is doing this. Is this the right time? Is this the right location? I don't know. I'd like to think so, but I've got a lot of doubts. The Bruised and Battered podcast guys this last week gave a very brutal but honest assessment as far as the Fed's expansion plans and talking about why it's so difficult to do this, especially when you have other teams that there is no guarantee. With the 14 teams we have currently, there is no guarantee that all 14 teams are going to be back next year. There are a couple of markets that are very much in question, which I will not name at this point because I don't want to seem alarmist, but I am in touch with things happening behind the scenes. And I can tell you that in a couple of cities, there's some questions. There's a lot of work to be done. So, right now, you got to ask, isn't it better if maybe we just hold off for now and stabilize? There's the other argument that said, well, if we know that we're having trouble in a couple other locations, well, shouldn't we have a backup plan and a new market to kind of take the place? So there's both sides of the coin there. Future schedules, the impact that this has. Future schedules, everybody talks about how the schedules this year suck. Guess what? The schedules next year are going to suck. Because the league has to watch travel costs. Travel costs is the biggest expense for a team, more than salary, more than operational cost of whatever arena you're playing in. Travel cost by far is the biggest expense. And that is the reason why the league went to the schedule it did this year. Do I think it's a good schedule? No. Do I understand why they made the schedule the way they did? Yes. Yes, because in the end, money talks. But obviously, you're not going to see Danbury making the trip to Thief River Falls. You're not going to see Athens making the trip to Thief River Falls, and vice versa. It's not going to happen. Thief River Falls is going to basically, stay with the 5 or 6 cities that I mentioned before. Binghamton, you're still going to see Watertown and Danbury a ton. Yeah, it's just the way it is. So yeah, I talked about the current markets. Again, there's no guarantee that all 14 teams are coming back. And I talked about the bruised and battered assessment that they were quite frank, and I think they were right to express what they did and how they did it. If you want to catch that, go to the Bruised and Battered podcast. It's on Spotify. Alec and Jay did a great job. The other guy, Darren, he wasn't on the show this week, but the three of them, they give very blunt, but I think accurate assessments on the state of not just what's going on in the Fed, because they also talk about the SP and the ECHL as well. They're not afraid to say how they feel. But they don't do it in a narcissistic way either. So I think it's a good podcast. Nonetheless, so that's where we're at. This is done. It's a done deal. So you can hang your hat on this. Minnesota is going to be the newest team. Will this open the gateway to other possible cities in the Northern Plains? Could there be a team in a smaller community like Bismarck, Bismarck, they have a USHL team. I don't know if there'd be room for a pro team to compete against them. But we did have last year, we had news of a group that was in Williston, South Dakota, that had a name chosen and everything, and say, they presented themselves as future FPHL market. Williston is 6 hours away from Thief River Falls, due straight west. Could that open the door for them? Could this open the door for some communities in Wisconsin for pro hockey? I'm sure that's what the FPHL is hoping for. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about today, and I thought it was very important to mention this now. The great thing about YouTube is you can watch this video today, you can watch this video Monday, or even a couple weeks down the road now after everything's been official and finalized. How did my reporting stack up? Okay. So there we go. I wanted to cover these. I'm going to end this now and prepare for watching the games tonight, Saturday evening games. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your support. Please, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Hit the subscription button. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. And hopefully, it'll be interesting and entertaining for you. Also, make sure you're following me on Facebook if you aren't already. That's where, as news happens, I print it there. we just talk about it more in depth here on YouTube. I'm hoping to get to 1,000 subscribers by Christmas. I don't know if that's going to happen here on YouTube. But please, again, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And tell a friend. Tell a friend that isn't subscribed yet. Hey, check this guy out. Appreciate it. All right. That does it for me, Gary Ryan, for the Fed League Flash. We will be back Wednesday with a news and notes video. It will be press conference for the announcement. So when I record, it won't have happened yet. But again, this is a done deal. Okay. Thank you again for watching, and we will catch you tomorrow with game recaps. Thank you for watching.